Hello, and you're all very welcome here to Cahir House Hotel in Tipperary. We're here for the launch of the Munster Senior Football Championship. Championship will be getting underway next weekend. We're joined here by the President of Munster, Robbie Schneid. Robbie, huge matches coming up over the next couple of weeks.
Oh, absolutely. Great build-up, great excitement. But this year, a little bit extra excitement in the sense that, we have a lot of out of our four teams. Very four competitive teams, nothing between them really. Kerry last year, losing out on an All-Ireland, National League champions, and you have the rivalry between Cork and Kerry as always, and Waterford at the moment playing some great football. It's a round robin this year, so you get that extra chance if things don't work out on day one. You can still get back in there on day two with the opportunity to get yourself to a Munster final. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it this year, and I think it's going to be probably one of the best ones we've had in a while.
Yeah, and round robin, as you said, plenty of games there for all panel members.
Yeah,
marked down there.
and it gives them a chance. If things don't work out on day one, they still have the opportunity to go out. They have two more games, and they have another chance to get there and to get back in the hat and hopefully get themselves to a Munster final. This year's going to be very, very competitive, which was great for ladies football and great for Munster ladies football.
Yeah, and the standard in Munster is high at the moment. We're seeing it over the last couple of weeks in the underage finals, and the standard that's been shown there in all grades.
And look, I suppose for us in Munster, the Senior Championship would be our big competition, and in saying that, our underage is very strong, and as you've seen in the last couple of weekends, some fantastic finals. Also the fact that we've introduced secondary competitions at under 14 and 16, it's added to the excitement. It's given more players the opportunity to put on the county jersey, but it's a huge part in development within the province, and it really is working out well. And when you see the finals in the last few weekends, you can see that it has been a huge plus for everybody.
Yeah, and this year, of course, the games are going to be broadcast live.
They are, absolutely, and we're very excited about that as well. And CK Streaming have come on board with us. They were there last year, and it worked brilliantly. And we're really looking forward now this year to it. Getting more people taking it on and more people watching from home as well. The numbers are increasing all the time, and with work and life the way it is at the moment, it's great that people will have the option of being able to watch it at home in the front rooms as well.
Yeah, and it's opening up to a whole new diaspora then as well, like a whole new viewing audience that mightn't have seen ladies football before this. Absolutely,
and it's going to help. It's going to bring the percentages up. It's going to bring the numbers up. And it is going to introduce people to ladies football that have never been there before. And I suppose like the rest of us, when we first saw it and first got involved, it's a fantastic game. It's a brilliant sport, and I suppose that's why we're all involved in it. And hopefully that this is going to help get other people involved once they see it.
Yeah, so it's like we spoke with Declan Quillen from Kerry there a good few times, and he says, if like the household names could walk down the street and they're not recognised, but this now gives them more exposure, gives them the recognition that they deserve, because they're putting in as much effort as what anybody else is in any other sport.
No, absolutely. I mean, the girls train as many times, they train as hard, and they play as many matches as any of the males in their sport with the GA. And at least now with the help of streaming and TV, it is helping the girls get recognised a lot more and a lot better. And I think it is getting better all the time, and the conditions are getting better all the time. But we still have a bit to go. But at least we're on the up, and it is improving. Every year there are major improvements.
Yeah, and I suppose the old saying, can't see it, can't beat it.
Yeah,
that's really taken off over the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. No, everything is plus, but like with this going on live on air, you know, the days of the games, then when they're on, it's a massive plus for Munster. It's a massive plus for, you know, there's always an audience out there that are looking, they love sport, and they're always looking to see what's on, where's it on, and you know, this is going to be a huge plus, and I think it's going to bring the numbers that are watching ladies football up big time.
Yeah, well, exciting times ahead, and we're going to meet some of the players and management that are going to be involved in it now, so stay with us and we'll be talking to them very soon.
So I'm here with Pat O'Sullivan, manager of the Waterford ladies football team. Pat, your second term now with Waterford. What's the difference like between this year and between 15 and 2018?
Look, the game has obviously gone a lot more professional versus when we were back in 15 to 18. I suppose a lot of teams have come back to the bars being raised with the Dublin and the Corks down the road, and that's really kind of levelled out now over last year. I suppose this is my second year in my second term. Last year for ourselves, I suppose, was probably more of a development than trying to get a squad back to the standards required. I think you'll see from what Meath have done the last 2 years, they've really kind of pushed it on. But teams have got to that again now, and you can see already what Kerry are doing so far, so they're really leading by example so far, so we have to catch that pack already.
Yeah, and you spoke about last year, obviously Kerry were on flying form last year, you were hit by them in the Munster Championship, and then you had a tougher group with Cork and Donegal in the All-Ireland Championship. How did you feel like last year went on?
Yeah, look, it was disappointing. I suppose we were kicking the ball away from knocking Donegal out, and we didn't do it, and you get the chance at that level, you have to take it. And we suffered in the following week as well, and look, when you have a Donegal and a Cork in your group, you're always going to be under pressure, and that was a hard group to face, and I think we played Cork 3 times in the 1 year as well, which is really tough on its own. But overall, look, it was a learning curve. We learned fairly quickly, and I think last year stood to us already this year in the league. The league has been very good to us, but the league is the league. We develop players through the league. We have probably 4 minors, we have 4 girls as well doing their leaving cert. So it's a young panel, and the panel is developing as we go along. And we're looking forward to the championship, most definitely are. But we also know that we're in a really tough group with Cork and Kerry and Tipp as well.
And talk about the mistakes maybe that were last year. Was there anything that you focused on coming up to the league this year that you hope to right for this year?
Yeah, look, it was more importantly was developing the panel, because the league is tough. The Munster Championship is just as tough. You're out every single week. You pick up an injury in the first game, there's a high chance that player mightn't play for the whole Munster Championship. So strengthening the panel was the most important thing for the league, and we're very happy we've done that. As I said, there's been a big turnover the last couple of years, maybe 12 players from 2 years ago not on the panel now. But the panel has developed. There's a lot of young girls have come in, and the more senior girls have really stood up. So overall, I'm happy where we are, but there's a real challenge ahead.
And you have to feel very positive about the way the league went. You actually beat the All-Ireland Championship, All-Ireland champions Meath, even being down by 6 points at half time. How do you think the league played out, and especially that game? What did you tell them at half time?
Look, the league has been good, as I said. Just like the Meath game is a real example. They're spurting the camp, we know that, and we just had to stick to our own process. We got caught for 2 late goals just going into half time, and that's kind of made the scoreline not reflect the possession and where we were in the game. We got back to basics at half time and we dominated the second half. But look, I think a lot of teams probably have seen where Meath are and where Meath have gone to. So within a year, things can change when you lose some key players, and they have lost key players, and that's changed their attack as well. But look, as I said, the league is something that gave us a real opportunity to test ourselves against the best teams. I think we performed well in that. We're under no illusions. There's a massive challenge come next week, number 1, and the following week and the following week after that.
Absolutely. And you talk about key players. Lauren McGregor must be one key player anyway. 6 goals in 6 games, I believe. Is that coincidental, or is that something that's down the tactics board? Yeah,
no, Lauren is a really good player. Look, I've been very lucky to work with Lauren from club back in 2011, 2012, and she's a player, I suppose, was talented underage, kind of went off the radar a little bit in inter-county, in and out, and really has settled in over the last 2 years and is back playing what she's good at, and she's really talented. And look, you mark Lauren on her left, she can score on her right, and vice versa. So that's a talent in its own. But she's under no illusions herself as well. She knows that she needs to improve like all the rest of us as we go on to the championship, because when you're scoring goals in the league, you'll be marked in the championship.
Absolutely. And finally, just on the young players, you say there's a lot of new young players coming in. How do you see their effect is on the training session coming in, and maybe for the role models of the older players coming in for them? What effect do they have on the panel?
It's actually super. They're a breath of fresh air, really. As I said, there's 4 girls in the leave and haven't missed a training session all year. They just come to training, they can perform, but they're very, very good at their college or their studies, and really, really good at training. And it takes them, like, they just don't have any fear any team they play, and that helps us maybe for more the senior players that have been through the mill and maybe got defeats that hurt and whatever, and wins. So they really bring in the spirit of that, and they're actually very much the leaders of the group as well for a young age of players.
Brilliant. Well, very best of luck, Pat, and I hope it all goes well for you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
So I'm here with Siofra O'Shea. Siofra, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on the LGFA Player of the Month in February. You had quite a month. Fair play to you for that. How did that all go for you?
Yeah, very good. We had a good run at the league. We had some tough games, but we took it game by game, and we went into each game wanting to win. And thankfully, we won 6 out of our 7 league games, and then brought that form into the final, and thankfully got over the line in the final.
Yeah, absolutely. And compared to last year's February, I suppose you were coming back from an injury. How did that all come back? Feel for you? Was it a tough comeback to get to that stage?
Yeah, I suppose anyone who goes through the cruciate process, it's a tough and hard, lonely, training regime by yourself. A lot of gym work and stuff alone. But I tried to keep up with the team training as well. Going, even standing on the sideline, just watching them throughout, and their results and how they were getting on probably pushed me on to get back. And when they were going so well, when they won the Division 2 league title last year, that pushed me to get back, and that helped me in getting into the team for the All-Ireland final then. Absolutely.
And obviously you had a very successful campaign with Southern Gales as well, winning that county final and going on to the Munster.
Yeah, it's always nice to go back to the club, and playing with your club is where you started out, so it was nice to get a bit of success in that county final. It was a tough final. It went to extra time and then to free kicks, so we were lucky to get over the line, and it was nice to go on and represent the county in Munster.
And we've Karen McGrath here as well. Obviously, she beat you in the Munster series. Then they're a fair old team. Would you love to get another crack at them again?
Yeah, they're a great team. They have some history in Munster and in that club. So, it's always going to be a tough game. We're a young team, and we're probably only developing along. So, it's nice to go out and play these top teams who are setting the standard for the rest of the clubs around Munster. So, whenever you can challenge yourself like that, it's a good sign.
Very good. And you talk about young team. You're only 21 yourself, and from winning the county final with Southern Gales, you were nominated as captain for Kerry. Was that something that you're looking forward to, or was it something you're nervous about even?
I know, when I was announced as captain, I probably took it on my shoulders, and I embraced it. It's a challenge, I suppose, being young, but I've been involved in the county setup for, I think this is my 5th season, so I've learnt off the captains before, and having Anna Galvin and Louise Niebuhr-Hertig as my vice captains, they're always by my side, they're always there if I need them for anything, and they've helped me along the way, so it's great to have them, and Anna being captain 2 out of the last 3 seasons as well. I've learnt a lot off her.
Absolutely. And I suppose you learnt a lot from your basketball career as well. You're not a bad basketballer either. Was there ever a stage where you considered maybe basketball was the route to take?
I suppose, playing underage for your country, it's a great honour, and, going to European Championships and stuff, it's a great honour to represent your country and play other countries around the world, but I think I have a love for football, and I wanted to pursue that, and after my injury I went back to basketball at National League level, but between COVID and my injury that kind of slipped out of the Irish team, because I kind of decided to focus on football after that.
Yeah. Well, I suppose you're not the only basketballer / footballer in Kerry. Kieran Dohney also done the same. There must be some skills that cross over from basketball and football, and that's probably where you get the skills, is it?
Yeah, I suppose, playing basketball from a young age, you get taught different skills that you can bring over to the football, like spatial awareness and your hand-eye coordination. Lorraine Scanlon's a prime example as well on our Kerry team. Her ability to catch the ball and her vision in midfield, she gets a lot of that from her basketball as well, and playing with her on the National League team as well throughout the year, it's nice to have her there along with me.
And back to the football then, you obviously won your 12th National Football League title, Kerry's 12th, first since 1991. That must have been a fairly special win for you, and you're looking forward to the championship after that, I presume.
Yeah, definitely. Our first year back up this year in Division 1. Last year winning Division 2 was a big step for us, and we've been there for a few years, and it was a big aim of ours to get back up to Division 1, and through COVID and a few things, you know, it took probably a bit longer than we wanted, but when we got up there this year, we wanted to compete against the best teams in the country week in, week out, and you know, we got some great games. Playing Waterford in our first game, I think that kind of really showed us the level we needed to get to. You know, it was a very tough game down there, and it showed us how much we needed to improve, and we tried to work on that week in, week out. We had a big game against Dublin and carried that entire game against Meath, and I think they gave us great confidence to push on. And that probably helped us in our run. But looking forward to Championship now, going into Munster, playing the round robin format, you know, getting a good few games in and challenging ourselves again. But it would be nice to win a Munster title and go on and bring that form into that competition.
Absolutely.
As well.
And you spoke about Meath there. Obviously it was Meath who beat you in the All-Ireland final last year. Is there anything that you took from that game that you're looking forward to this year? Maybe some tactics or anything from that?
Yeah, I suppose, you know, we probably played into their hands a bit. At the start we got a very good start, and we probably went back into our shell a bit. We ran at them and they kind of bottled us up. So, you know, against me, the team that like to defend in numbers, you can't be running into them, and we learnt a lot from that game. But we watched it back at the start of the year, and we had a good breakdown of the game on what went right and what went wrong, and you know, we've parked that now and we've moved on this year, and we're just hoping to build from our run in the league.
Absolutely. And we spoke about Meath, we spoke about Waterford, obviously Cork are massive rivals as well. Is there any one particular team that you are looking forward to playing this year, that you are looking forward to meeting in Championship?
I know, you know, you look forward to playing everyone. Every game is a different challenge, and everyone has different players and different playing styles, so you know, it's about working out what team you're playing against and their strengths and weaknesses and trying to exploit them. But you know, every Championship game you go into has a different bite, so you know, we're looking forward to it.
Very good. Well, the very best of luck, Siofra, and I hope it all goes well for you.
Thank you.
Joining us now is Tipperary's Cliona. Munster Championship around the corner. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, no, definitely looking forward to the challenge ahead. We're playing Cork first, so definitely will be a challenge, but really looking forward to it now and not fearing too much.
Yeah, your league campaign, you 5 wins out of 7, and probably unlucky not to make a league final. That game against Laois left it behind you, probably.
Yeah, we definitely had a very positive league campaign, so from that perspective, definitely very positive. The Laois game definitely was the one that we left behind, we felt, but that's just the way it goes. So now we just have to look forward into Munster Championship.
Yeah, and you're bringing plenty of new players in there as well. There's a couple of new girls into the panel as well, and they've got game time over the course of the league as well.
Yeah, I suppose the good thing about Tipp, like we've a lot of young players coming through, we definitely have a very young panel. So from that perspective, we're on a growth and transition phase. So yeah, definitely growth and young players coming through that are really shining and getting the start. So it's brilliant to have them on board.
Yeah, like because we've seen the likes of Clara English over the last few years was in around the panel, and she was brought in during the course of last year, but this year she's really putting her stamp on and getting that starting spot.
Yeah, definitely. Like Clara's a super player. There's her sister there as well, Sarah English as well, and they're 2 young players that are really shining through, and they're very young. So it's great to have them on board, and they'll be there for many years again. So it's great to have them on board. Yeah,
and you have a new position this year back in the corner back. You've come up a few times and kicked a few points. You weren't doing it when you were wearing number 10.
No, definitely not. I suppose play corner back and play as a forward. That was the goal. But yeah, no, definitely look, I'll play anywhere, just to get the team over the line. So yeah.
And how are you finding the new position?
Yeah, fine. I mean, if there's a job or a role to be done, you just have to do it. So yeah, we've a great team. We're lucky this year that we have so many forwards. So I don't mind going back into the back, and we have such good forwards like Ashley Maloney. We have Niamh Martin going up, getting on the scoreboard, so it's brilliant. Yeah, Emma Morrissey, we've like really good forwards.
Yeah, because when Ashley was injured over the last couple of years, the likes of Emma Morrissey stood up. Like we've seen that goal, she got into having the pressure. She was under that day to go into the top corner, and they're not bother on her.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it was a great opportunity for players like that, the younger girls, to step up when Aisling was gone. Aisling's obviously like a super player. So when she was gone, players got to stand up, and that definitely is now coming through to this year, to our league campaign.
Yeah, and I suppose just looking at your own campaign, I suppose just going back to last year with the club, another heartbreak for you. Do you find it hard to get back on the horse after?
No, that's the joys of sport, isn't it? You know, you win some, you lose some, and all you can do is go back the following year, put head down and go again. So that's the plan again. So we'll have to just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose this round robin now, 3 games in 3 weeks. So as Shane said earlier on, the panel is going to be tested.
Absolutely. Look, we've been training hard under no illusions that like the whole panel will be needed to be used. So we'll give players, all our players will get a go in the Munster campaign, and we definitely have brilliant subs to come on. So we're lucky this year. Last year we had a lot of injuries. This year we have a lot of younger girls shining through. So yeah, we're looking forward to being able to do that in the league or
Yes,
in the Munster.
There's plenty of girls pushing each other in training. So when you do get that jersey, you want to hold on to it.
Absolutely, yeah. So the league was great, but that's finished now, and we're going on to Munster. So positions are up for grabs again, and the whole panel knows that. So yeah, it's great to thrive, and there's great hunger, and training's going really well. So it's very positive.
Yeah, and there's been huge crowds in Feathered over the course of the league, and you'll be hoping that it'll be the same next Sunday against Cork.
Yeah, no, it's great having the home games. We had 6 out of the 7 games, and they were home, so it was great. It was great for like promotion of ladies football, and especially in Tipperary, having those league games there, and lots of young players, and we had underage playing at half time, which was brilliant as well.
Yeah, because that brought another aspect in with them playing at half time. I suppose some people came, they probably wouldn't have seen Tipp play before, but they came back the following week then to watch him again.
Absolutely, yeah, and that was great to have, like, as a player on the pitch, to have that support. And I suppose when you see the younger girls coming playing and getting the support, that's going to drive them on to keep on playing, you know, to play senior, to come up and support their senior panel, so eventually they might start playing senior themselves, like, to keep them in the sport.
Yeah, we asked Lucy Spillane before the Tipp Championship last year, would she take an All-Ireland medal or a county, and she said she'd take an All-Ireland. Okay. And we've seen what way that turned out. What would you take now this time, after your heartbreak in the last couple of years?
Look, I'd take both. I'll be diplomatic. I'd take. I'm in greedy now. Yeah.
Well, Cliona, look, we wish you the best of luck, and we'll be talking to you over the course of the championship.
So I'm here now with Maire O'Callaghan and Shane Roynane of the Cork ladies football team. Maire, I'll start with you. Pre-season, how is it going? Has it been tough on you? How's the training been going along?
Training's going well now. We've had a good break, I suppose, since our last league match. So we've had a good few weeks to get a good hard bit of training in and prep for our game next weekend against Tipp.
Yeah. And Shane, obviously you actually did have a fairly good league campaign. You beat Kerry as well. How did you feel the league went, and was there anything that maybe you point out that you want to correct going into championship?
Yeah, look, I think it's similar to what Pat said. Like, there was a couple of close games that could have gone either way, and you could end up in the final. So, but we were very happy, I suppose, and then we're actually probably glad of the few extra weeks to get a bit of work in. If you were preparing for a league final, you're focused on that game. So I suppose, and at the end of the day, you know, when we're looking at the year as a whole, it's the championship we're looking at. So we've plenty to work on from the league, I suppose. But we were quite happy with it. Like, you know, we got a lot of game time with a lot of players, and we had some good wins. You know, it was important. They hadn't beaten Meath in a few years. So to get a win that, and look, beat Kerry as well. No, Kerry hadn't bust their full team out, but I suppose it was still important at home game for us to win. But look, we got a lot out of the league. We're very happy. We got a lot of game time with the players, I said. So, you know, we're happy with where we went in that. Very
good. And Maire, you were talking about the lead up to the Tipp match. Obviously, the Tipp match is in Tipperary in Feathered, which is becoming a small bit of a fortress for Tipperary. You've no fear in going there or seeing that Tipperary team at all?
Look, I feel like every team you have to be very prepared and know what you're going to be up against. And obviously we'll be focusing on ourselves as well to get the best out of ourselves. It'll be our first championship game. You know, there's always nerves coming into play as well for the first round of championship. So look, we're by no means underestimating the challenge that Tipp will face against Tipp. Obviously it is an added bonus for them to have it as a home game, but look, it's not too far down the road. It's not like we're preparing for a long journey. So look, we'll take it in our stride. Very
good. And Shane, I'm not sure if you've seen it at all, but obviously the Cork minor footballers had a very successful win. They won the Munster A final. There's no particular players that you're looking at there for maybe even the future or the near future?
Yeah, look, we were actually training last night, so we didn't get to see it, but I have been at a few of their games, and look, there's always talent coming through, and there's a number of good players in that team, I suppose. We have Roynane, and you know, we're trying to bring them forward. We're trying to bridge that gap between the minor and the senior. So we have a lot of minors from last year's team. I think is it 10 or 11 we brought into the squad this year, you know, that are still with us. So which is the biggest intake we've had in a long time. So look, the minors were very good last night. Look, Clare put up a huge show against them. You know, Clare were well valued for their getting to the final of it. I suppose that was a surprise, I suppose, really, but they did play very well, and Cork, I suppose, will have to kick on and improve, but no doubt they will. And there's definitely players in that squad that we will be looking at.
Absolutely. And Shane spoke there about the new players coming into the panel. What's that like for the younger players coming in? Are they do they improve the whole morale of the dressing room and the training as a whole?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as Shane said, there was about 10 or 11 came in, and they brought a lot of freshness, and a lot of energy and enthusiasm, and it has been fantastic having them involved. And I suppose it's great for them as well. There is a bit of a gap between minor and senior. Bridging that gap and getting involved at that standard has been fantastic. But there are a great crop of underage players there. They won the minor All-Ireland last year, and you can really see that there's been fantastic work going on underage as well.
Yeah.
They really have slotted in very seamlessly into the panel.
Absolutely, very good. And Shane, you're coming up against a team you've managed before. I suppose you won 2 intermediate finals with Tipperary. There's going to be no love lost there, I suppose, coming into that game, is there?
Well, I suppose it's a team that I know most of them. I suppose some of them have moved on as well. I suppose it is probably a different squad. But there's a lot of players that we brought through, I suppose, in 19, a lot of younger players, who were minors then. I think we started in Croke Park with 5 minors that day against Meath. So, those players are now, 2 or 3 years down the line, and look, they had a good league campaign. I know most of the players very well. The Tipperary manager is my boss in school, so
so you have to watch your tongue.
I do, so I have to behave myself, and look, it's very interesting looking at. I suppose it's not easy. I have a great affinity with a lot of the players in Tipp, and they gave me lots of good days as well. So I've the utmost respect for them, and but as Maire said, that definitely makes sure we're very wary of them. Last time I think they played in the championship was 2018, and I was over Tipp that time, and we felt we had a great chance that day in Ardfinnan, and Cork came down very prepared for that game, and they beat Tipp by 5 points that day. So there's going to be nothing between a lot of teams. There's four senior teams in Munster. It's an incredibly competitive province. Don't be surprised if there's a few surprise results, or so-called surprise results, as the season goes on, because it's 3 games in 3 weeks. Your panel depth is going to be tested. So look, we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a very interesting day that day.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fair to say you're an experienced coach at this stage. You've been around for a number of years. How do you see the development and the increase in standard of ladies football throughout the last few years, maybe compared to when you started coaching compared to now?
Yeah, look, I think I think they always trained incredibly hard, but I think the standards with regards to facilities and access to gyms and all those things have gone through the roof at this stage, and I suppose the media coverage has gone way bigger, and I think, look, that's only right because of what the work they put in, and I think people are recognising that these games are really high quality games, and before it was just a kind of there was ad lib service paid to it, but now it's as important as the men's game. We know that from being involved in it, and I can see the exposure players are getting, and I suppose, look, every game, the physicality I think has gone through the roof, and I suppose that's probably not being replicated by a lot of the refereeing that's gone on, but I think that needs to change, I think, because these players are extremely well conditioned. They really look after themselves. Let them go out and play.
Absolutely.
That's a huge thing with us. Let them go play and not have 50 and 60 frees in the game. Let them go play because they're well able for it.
Absolutely.
They want that.
Yeah.
They don't want to be treated as as weaker individuals because they're seen as females. I think that's just not okay.
Yeah, very good point. And Maire, we were speaking there about the media exposure as well. It's definitely something that has grown massively in the last number of years. How do you feel like that is an influence on the younger players as well, being able to see all of their stars and their role models on TV now?
I suppose it's fantastic. I mean, that phrase "can't see, can't be," I think someone said it earlier, it really is true. You need to be able to have access to the games, or you might be able to travel there, but to be able to see as much as you can, to have, I suppose, something to aspire to still play, to keep involved. It's really important for the underage, and the media has been fantastic around that. Keeping the conversation going, keeping it out there, to keep that participation, you know, going upwards and upwards.
Yeah.
Because like everybody benefits from more people being involved and more people enjoying playing the sport.
Very good. Well, I wish you two the very best of luck in the coming championship, and I hope it all goes well for you.
Thanks.
So I'm here with Karen McGrath, captain of the Waterford ladies football team. Karen, I'd like to start off by congratulating you on another successful year with Ballymacarbery. I believe that's 41 county finals in a row.
Yeah.
So my first question is about Ballymacarbery. Obviously it's great to win a county final. How do you stay motivated to win each county final when it is 41 in a row?
Yeah, look, I suppose when we're talking about club football and all, people always fall back on that record, you know, like you said there, it's the 41 in a row and all. But look, I suppose it's such a cliche to say, but we don't think of it that way at all. You know, if we're going out this year saying, you know, it's not 42, it's just this year's county final, obviously, you know, we have to take it year by year. We don't want to get one bit complacent, but I suppose, look, we're lucky in our club that we have such great role models that were there. Like, you know, a lot of our club girls would have been with Waterford when they were winning All Irelands and all, and I think there's a real kind of good culture in the club, and we have that drive to kind of win and to go on and to represent our club as much as we can. And look, we just love playing football as well, and we love going down to training, and I think when you enjoy it as well and you're down with your friends, you kind of push each other on, and you know, we do probably have that competitive streak in there, but I suppose it goes back to like coaches and all. Like when you have people like Michael and Ryan that are involved in the club, it's hard not to be passionate for football, to love going out playing, to be competitive, to want to win. And I think when you have that drive, that kind of gets instilled in the players, and it's passed down from let's say maybe the more experienced or the older players to the new players, and kind of bringing everyone along year on year. So I think we're lucky with the people that we have in the club and the culture that we have, and that kind of support and the motivation as well.
Absolutely. And I suppose for the young players coming in, there's obviously new players coming in every year. Is there that extra push for those players who actually, funnily enough, don't have a county final medal compared to the rest of them?
Yeah, definitely. And look, I think it's something that we'd nearly comment on. If you're looking at some of the girls that are 16, 17, 18, 19, you know, they're all doing gym work now, which when I think back when I was that age, I definitely wasn't doing that kind of stuff. So they're so physically able, you know, they're big, strong girls, and that kind of pushes on the older girls as well, that, you know, there's no position granted on the club team. We're lucky that we are competitive in that way, and there's good underage structures there as well. And I think, you know, if they're underage, they might have been looking at the senior team, seeing maybe how successful we were over the last couple of years in Waterford, and wanting to get onto the team as well. And then, you know, we love having them come on as well, because we like that competition, and I think it all just lifts and kind of carries everyone along. So, and
I suppose this year actually was more of a special year than the others, when you got that extra step onto the Munster final. That must have been very special.
It was, because look, we talk about the success that we've had within Waterford, and whilst we're, you know, so delighted to have that and are motivated to have that every year, once we go past that stage, we set our sights on Munster, and it's, I suppose, something that's eluded us for the last 15, 20 years, I suppose. You know, you look at our record in Waterford and you say it's impressive, but I suppose we have probably a record of losing Munster finals in Munster as well, which is probably a record in its right for maybe the wrong reasons. So look, we had a lot of hurt over those years, but again, we kept coming back every year, you know, thinking that we're pushing on. And this year, I think, I don't know what it was, I think, was it a mix of the experience and the youth, or maybe there's a bit of pressure off, but we just kind of went out and played a little bit kind of freer, I suppose, probably expressed ourselves a bit more, and it paid off. You know, I suppose winning against Moore Abbey was a huge thing for the club, because, you know, the Cork teams are always so successful, and they were the ones that had been consistently beating us, I suppose, knocking us out of Munster Championship. So I think it was really, the pressure was on maybe a little bit to kick on from there, travelling down to Kerry and playing the banner then as well. Probably a bit of pressure on us to win after getting over, maybe getting to that stage, but it was just brilliant to finally get there in the end.
And you were able to carry that form on then into the league for Waterford. You could say a positive league campaign that you just had.
Yeah, definitely. Up in Division 1, look, I suppose if you looked at our campaigns last couple of years, we were maybe flirting with relegation, you know, and that was something that we obviously wanted to avoid and move on from that. You know, you don't want to just survive in the league in Division 1, you want to be competitive, and that's something we've kind of set our sights on this year, having maybe a bit more belief, a bit more confidence in ourselves, and I think it showed in our games. We had a few tough encounters, had a couple of wins maybe earlier on in the league, which gave us that little cushion from being at the bottom, because I suppose if you don't get a good start, you're probably in a very dangerous position early on that you could be looking down relegation. So I was happy to get the good positive start that we had and build on from that, and hopefully carry a bit of that confidence and belief into the championship as well. Yeah,
and talk about championship. Obviously, we spoke with Pat earlier about maybe the struggles from last year. But there was a lot of tight games last year, and it wasn't all doom and gloom. Was there any highlights from last year that you would pick that you'd love to do the same for this year going forward?
I suppose just being competitive. If we're looking at the games last year, I suppose the Donegal, the first round of the All-Ireland series, was probably one that we felt like we could have and maybe should have won. Felt like we were probably in the driving seat for a lot of it, but one or two mistakes probably let us down. And I suppose if you're looking back on those games, it kind of makes you realise the fine margins that are there, and that's something that's probably been, I wouldn't say hammered home to us this year in training, but definitely it is these fine details that either get you over the line or will cause you to just miss out. So I suppose it's just the learnings from last year that we're taking into this year, and I think that they're doing us well so far anyway.
And you obviously faced a couple of teams last year and many in the league. Is there any particular team now that you look forward to saying, I want to play this team this year, I want to get one over them?
I suppose look them all really. You can't. There is, like the lads mentioned earlier, it's every game is going to be so competitive. It's not, and to be honest, I think when you're going out in championship, you need to kind of focus on yourselves. I think if you're looking too much at the other teams, you might get a bit caught up. Obviously you need to do a little bit of homework and all, and have maybe one or two things put in place, but it's really focusing on yourselves, playing to your strengths, looking at where you need to develop as well. So I think we're looking forward to all of our games this year and hopefully get a good start. Very good.
And finally, obviously you have that taste of winning a Munster with Ballymacarbry. How would that compare to winning one with Munster? And is it something that winning one with Waterford, and is that something that you're really pushing for this year now?
Yeah, definitely. Look, as Shane had said earlier, it's a very competitive Munster Championship. I think every team will fancy themselves, on every given day, especially because the games are week after week. It is so important, they're all so important, and your panel is so important as well. And look, it would be very valuable to get a good start early on. But look, I think every team that's in it is definitely going to back themselves to be in the final and to want to win it. You're going out to play every game, to win every game that you play, and we'll be no different as well. So I think it'll make for a very competitive championship.
Well, I hope you're right, Karen, and very best of luck to you and to Waterford.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So that's the views of the players and management teams there, all four counties. Robbie, plenty of exciting football ahead.
No, absolutely. It's fantastic listening to the different points of view here tonight from all the counties, and you can feel the passion in the room, and you can feel the hunger to get out onto the pitch and get the games going and get started. And I think as we said earlier, like this championship this year with the round robin and with the quality of counties and the teams and the form that they're showing at the moment, it's anybody's. And I think somebody said it earlier, that anything can happen, and there may be a few surprises, and I don't mean that in a bad way to any county, but it's quite possible.
Yeah, maybe surprises outside Munster, but not inside Munster.
No, but like we have a lot of teams in form at the moment, and you're looking at the counties. There's always the one or two counties that are always expected to produce the goods and always to get there. But there are other counties, that have been knocking on the door, and they are showing good form this year and have shown good form in the National League, and it's anybody's this year. So I think that's what's making it that extra bit exciting, and as I said, you can feel the passion in the room here tonight. I think everybody is giving themselves a chance.
Yeah, it's good when so many teams are coming in with confidence into it as well, in good form, as you said.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we need. Ladies Gaelic football is, it's a sport that's growing constantly, and we are so lucky here in Munster to have the quality that we have. In a lot of other provinces, they have maybe more counties, but we have less counties, but we have definitely more quality, and we have, this year should be a fantastic competition, and we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, certainly, as you said, exciting times ahead. don't forget you'll be able to see all the games with ourselves over the next month or so, and if you check out all our social media channels and both websites, and you'll be able to get access to the games through there. Thanks for all being with us, and we'll talk to you all at the weekend.